Throughout some of these past years, I've played some of the most amazing games known to man. From Helldivers 2, Sea of Thieves, Valor, never mind, Overwatch 2, nah, not that one either, and Elden Ring, just to name a few off the top of my head.
The snail zombies though.
I have to do something.
Oh no!
But what if I told you there was a game that not even if you played all the Soulborn games would prepare you for a game like this? Imagine Dark Souls if it had an underwater theme and you play as a crab. You play as Krill, who is this hermit crab, who loses his shell due to a tax collector that comes from an underground kingdom that's run by crabs. And I'm not even joking.
I'm here to inform you that you have outstanding taxes that date back and upwards of 10 tides.
This game caught me off guard when it was actually starting to get really good at some times. I was expecting this child-friendly Elden Ring game to be some sort of joke, but it actually manages to pull off what it's set to do. Don't let the art style of the game fool you, because this game does not hold your hand. Pretty much right off the bat after you finish the semi-tutorial, the game kind of lets you explore on your own and then run around the ocean floor as you play and encounter different enemies such as the sardine, multiple different crabs, and the combat system has a sort of charm to it. I don't know if you noticed so far, but every time you lock in on an enemy, there's these two cinematic bars that drop onto the player screen, and it just makes every fight just look so epic. The open level idea is interesting. Just like any other Soulborn game like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, you're confined to a certain area, but you're allowed to free roam anywhere you'd like within the certain area. From what I've seen so far, I don't know who was behind the design team, but they are creative as hell. You got color pencils that make up barricades, soldiers and linemen made out of crab and lobster, you got sandcastle architecture, sandals being used as platform, and of course a lot of dumped trash. They even use ketchup packets to signify flags, but that looks pretty awful. That might be on my part though, so let me go in and fix that. There we go, way better. A little nitpick and kind of a lost art, but the out of bounds is just an invisible wall instead of something that forces you to go back into the stage. I like the fact that the combat emulates kind of like the same thing what the Soulborn games were doing, such as Elden Ring and Dark Souls, in which it's a dodge mechanic. When I eventually encountered my first boss fight, I pretty much got the hang of it pretty quickly. Finally! Admittedly, it does take some time to get used to the mechanics. Moving around is quite fun, and then the fact that they introduced new traversal ways just makes it a whole lot better. The more I think about it, the more this game gives me nostalgia of old video games back on the PS2 or GameCube. Maybe it's just the simplistic art style, but I've never felt more free running around and beating the shit out of crabs. The game feels like a generic platformer, but generic in every right way possible. It wasn't until later that I eventually found the greatest thing in gaming history. Possibly one of the greatest boss fights just because of the soundtrack alone. And not to mention, there's actually a lot of good songs from the soundtrack itself. Apparently the OST was produced by Thieves, so congratulations to you, Thieves. This is the most absolute banger. Anyway, besides that, you pretty much get the basics when it comes to one of these games. Leveling up, a skill tree, and that's pretty much it. I don't think you could change weapons to my knowledge. I haven't progressed that far into the game yet, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But so far, the main mechanic of the game is actually relying on your shell. Each shell has their own special ability that you'll later unlock the more you progress through the game. And I guess you'll have to figure that out for yourself because I don't want to spoil anything. But now on to the downsides. Locking onto enemies can be a major headache. Every pufferfish encounter was such nightmare fuel. I felt like as if I was literally riding a roller coaster while fighting these guys. I guess that's just the price you have to pay when fighting such energetic enemies. And there's some spots where I just happen to get stuck and then I'm just like panicking in my head because I'm like, can I get out of here? Can I not? Although these are just minor complaints, I'm sure everyone will have a different experience when you run this game for your first time. But God forbid the voice acting in this game. Now don't get me wrong, it's amazing voice acting. If it weren't replayed every 5 to 10 minutes. I'll show you in a second, but I'm pretty sure the developers intentionally did this just to piss off their players. It's kind of like the feeling of restarting over and over and then you just slowly lose your mind. Little hermits! Again, amazing voice acting, but wait till you die 8 or 9 times.
Can't you see how worthless this all is? You're mine. Can't you see how worthless this all is? Can't you see how worthless this all is? Can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see how worthless this all is?
Yeah, no dip.
I don't know, man. It might be a skill issue. Let me know how many attempts it took to take her down for you guys down in the comments. Congratulations, you made it to the end of this video. I'm gonna go ahead and give this game a 9 out of 10 for my rating. You could go ahead and take that with a grain of salt if you like. Anyway, thanks for watching.